There's this idea out there that black jaguars and leopards are separate species from their spotted brethren, but they're not. I mean, black big cats have been turning up all over the world for centuries, and we now know that most of them are just normal cats that got a little extra melanin in their fur. But people still think they're separate species anyway. So why is that? Hi, and welcome to my channel. Black panthers aren't one or more species. They're just melanistic color variants of several different species of big cats, including leopards, jaguars, cougars, cheetahs, and tigers. And being a different color doesn't mean they're a different species. A change in fur color like this is called polygenic, meaning it's controlled by multiple genes rather than just one. And while we don't know exactly how many genes are involved in a panther's dark coloring, we do know that these animals aren't some sort of hybrid. Their black fur is simply the result of a few recessive genes coming together to make a whole bunch of melanin, which is the pigment that gives our skin, hair, and eyes their color. So if black panthers aren't a separate species, why don't they just blend in with their surroundings when they're resting during the day? Well, it turns out that even though their coats may look black, they're actually more of a dark brown color, and their fur is only part of what makes them camouflaged. The shape of their spots also plays a role. Since those spots break up the outline of the cat's body and make it harder to see, when they're lounging around, these spots often blend in with shadows cast by trees or rocks, making the cat even more difficult to spot. Also, while it might seem obvious, panthers tend to nap during the day because that's when their prey is most active. So they get to be little predators on little sunbeam rugs doing little predator stuff. But even though we understand the science behind black panthers, people still sometimes think they're a separate species. And that's probably because of how mysterious these big cats have been in the past. For hundreds of years, people didn't know where black panthers came from, so they made them into mythical beasts. And there are lots of different stories about black panthers in different cultures. Some believe that black panthers can bring good luck, like in ancient Egypt, where they were associated with the goddess Bastet, who was said to have both a human body and the head of a cheetah. Other cultures had less pleasant things to say about black panthers. In medieval Europe, they were considered a bad omen, and they showed up in heraldry to represent evil and death. And in some Native American cultures, they were seen as tricksters. But no matter what they were seen as, people were still really interested in black panthers, and that led to some truly wild theories about what they actually were. One popular theory was that they were vampires, since they were mostly black and nocturnal. People also speculated that they could only exist in pairs, and that they were somehow connected to witches. Of course, none of those things are true, but people's fascination with black panthers has led to a lot of modern misconceptions as well. Like some people think they're ghosts, and others believe they're cursed. That's probably why some people were super excited in 2016. When a black panther showed up at a zoo in South Carolina, people started saying that it was proof that Jesus had returned, because in the Bible, the resurrected Jesus is described as being as black as a panther. Of course, the staff at the zoo just thought it was a black panther. And they never said anything about Jesus, probably because they weren't trying to start a zoo riot. But it's not just religion that's caused people to believe in panther myths. There are also some pretty creative legends about where they came from. Some people believe that black panthers are the offspring of jaguars and leopards, while others claim they're the result of jaguars and tigers mating. But even though these ideas sound plausible, they're not true. Jaguars and leopards can't mate because they have different numbers of chromosomes. And while tigers and jaguars can make cubs when they're in captivity, those cubs don't grow up to be black panthers. The truth is, we don't know exactly what causes black panthers to be born. It seems to happen randomly, and it's rare, but it does happen. Just last year, a female jaguar gave birth to a litter of 4 black cubs in Costa Rica. So black panthers aren't one species, but they're also not just a bunch of random things that happened at random times. It's not entirely random. They are a result of genetics, but they're also the result of people's imaginations, and maybe a little bit of wishful thinking. After all, who wouldn't want to believe in a cool monster or a magical creature if it meant that there was one just a little bit of wilderness away? So thanks for watching this episode, which was brought to you by all of our patrons. If you would like to become a patron, you can visit our support page.